邪魔ないのか。これくらい貴様らに万倍の苦痛を。
Alright, hey everyone. Today we're talking about ARLAN. So he's a 4-star lightning type, just your basic damage dealer, but he's got a couple quirks about his kit that are pretty cool. And also, I'll point out later, and you'll see with the numbers that are on screen versus the numbers I read, his I personally think his kit scales really well, and I'm excited to see how he performs at a higher level. But we'll see those numbers later. So let's go into his kit. These are all level 1 values. You'll see current values of whenever I recorded it on screen, so they'll be a little bit different. His basic, nothing special, 50% to single enemy. Skill, consumes 15% of his HP and deals 150% of his attack as lightning damage to single enemy. So he sacrifices HP, deals damage, and obviously the damage scales up as you level it up. It always costs 15% HP as of right now. Also, you can't use if his HP is insufficient, but you'll see later that this changes with some things. His ultimate deals 210% of attack as lightning damage to target enemy and then 90% to adjacents. So it's a mini AoE, targets up to 3 enemies. Alright, his talent, it increases his damage based on his lost HP up to 35% at level 1. And this is one of those things that scales really well because as you increase it, it increases the cap for HP lost. So you have a wider range of increased damage. And lastly, has technique. It's an ambush skill, immediately deals 80% of his attack as lightning damage to all enemies. Straightforward. Okay, next we're going to take a look at his bonus stats. He get 5 attack boosts, 3 effect resistance boosts, and then 2 max HP boosts. Alright, so for his bonus abilities, level 1, when ARLAN defeats an enemy, if his HP is 30% or lower, he immediately restores 20% of his max HP. So if you can ping pong around 30% to 50% HP, you're going to be getting that damage boost like all the time from his lost HP. And if you dip below 30%, you're going to be insta restoring HP every single time as far as like maximizing his damage goes. So his first bonus ability, I think is really cool. His other one's kind of boring compared to the first one. Second bonus ability, his resistance to damage over time debuffs is increased by 50%. And then his third bonus ability, upon entering battle, if his HP is 50% or lower, he gains a 1 damage block. I don't know if this is as simple as it reads. I don't know what this is. I don't know if he just blocks the first attack that he gets hit with. I can't test this, of course. So we'll have to see. If anyone had played the beta and they played with ARLAN and they know, let me know. I'm curious. But I don't know what 1 damage block means. I'm just going to go with and assume that it's straightforward and that it just means he blocks the first attack that he gets hit with, but I don't want to spread misinformation and I do not know for sure. Alright, now let's take a look at his light cone. So his path is the destruction. So of course there are 2 options for him. There's his signature and then there's Hook's signature. His signature is called a secret vow. Increase damage by 20%, and then if they have lower health than the enemy they're attacking, deals 20% more damage, right? So up to a 40% damage increase. Now here's where things get a little interesting. So Hook's light cone is the most welcome you, and then for every basic skill and ultimate used, gain 1 stack of mischievous. No limit to these stacks of mischievous currently, and each of these stacks increases attack by 12%. I think this is massive. The longer the fight goes on, the higher attack gets. So in up to 3 turns, you can pretty much match the damage output of a secret vow, ARLAN's light cone. Also, this is damage increase versus attack increase. Remember, attack increase is your overall, and that influences how much damage you do, like when damage is calculated. So increasing your attack throughout the battle is actually influencing, for example, the extra damage you do based off HP lost. So that would be increasing every turn. So I personally think Hook's light cone, the most welcome you, is just overpowered. I don't know what its levels are at past like super imposition level 1. If you're not familiar, that's refinement ranks. So you can refine this up to level 5, I believe. A 12% attack increase every time you attack or use skill or use ults, like that's really good. Now, personal experience, I've seen the stacks for Hook's light cone go up to 10. I don't know if it surpasses that or not, but just for example, that's at 10 stacks, after 10 attacks, that's 120% attack increase. Now, of course, if the battle doesn't last that long, then, you know, it's not that useful. As far as like fighting boss enemies or anything, like anything tough, like, yeah, I just think the most welcome use is the best 4-star light cone for ARLAN. Or for anyone, honestly, for anyone, that's the destruction. as far as 4-stars go, this is probably the best 4-star. I know there's only 2 right now. Take it easy, okay? That's the end, okay? I think Hook's 4-star, the Moles Welcome You, is the best 4-star light cone you can put on anyone for the destruction path. Okay, lastly, we'll take a look at Eidolon Levels. Level 1, his skill can be used if at least 5% of HP, and then using skill will reduce HP to 1. So going back to his skill, remember, he can't use it if his HP is insufficient. So at E1, he can use it if he has 5% of HP, and it reduces his skill to 1. So it gives a little bit more flexibility with that skill. Level 2 increases skill damage by 10%, and then using his skill clears 1 debuff from ARLAN. So I don't know if this 10% damage increase is secondary damage, if it does the skill damage and then does this, or if it's factored in and just does increased damage. I'm not sure. Either way, increases skill damage by a little bit. Level 4, when he's hit with Killing Blow, once per turn, ARLAN restores 25% HP instead. So that's kind of cool. You get second wind, second life. And then lastly, level 6, when he's under half HP, his ult damage increases by 15%. And the damage multiplier on the target enemy increases for the adjacents. So it'll do the main damage multiplier for the ultimate for all 3 enemies. It won't do that main damage and then the secondary damage to the adjacents. It'll do a bunch of damage to all 3 enemies. That's it for ARLAN's kit. I'm curious to see how he stacks up against other 4-stars and versus 5-stars, how different the scaling is. His kit seems good, and like I said, I think his kit scales really well, especially his talent. The whole cap getting bigger and bigger as far as increasing his damage based on lost HP. That's good. That's great, I think. But yeah, I'm curious to see how he does overall. Who he can be paired with, but I suppose we'll just have to wait for release to determine that stuff, right? So, as always, let me know if you have any questions. I'll try my best to answer them. Make sure to subscribe if you like the video, and then follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mexu, where I stream almost every night at 11 p.m. Eastern. But otherwise, thanks for watching. See ya.